it's Blackadelic. That's when your cash is really fast and your ass is smelling. Can't you tell it's bad when you grab your head and feel pain in your back and belly? I would take it back. Oh man, who said that? That nigga? Nah, hold up, take me to him. Okay. Yeah.
One for one.
Fame Podcast.
I swear I'm on one, Homie say he got the perk, it passed me one. I got 100 rounds stashed in this gun. I shoot this bitch up in broad day by 9. I swear I'm on one, I swear I'm on one. Look, I got 100 in this gun. Hold on, I shoot this bitch up by 9. Look, I swear I'm on one, yeah. Swear I'm on one, yeah. I been getting money, where the fuck you been, ho? I fucking a friend, ho. Feed my little twins, I ain't lying, I be high 7 days a week, ho. You try me a new gun, just pop up, no cheat code, you dig that? Too many Zans, I'm like, where the fuck the cigs at? And I'm about tired of this whole how you can have your bitch back. You keep playing, I put that chopper to your 6-pack. Nigga get drunk and run over your little pump. Ride with him in the trunk. LeBron James, I'm a dunk. You try to, I'm not the one. I put that on my son, bitch. I stay down for the come up. I hustle till the sun up. Them bitches see me, they all when I'm on one. Homie say he got the perk, it passed me one. I got 100 rounds stashed in this gun. I shoot this bitch up in broad day by 9. I swear I'm on one. I swear I'm on one. Look, I got 100 in this gun. Hold on, I shoot this bitch up by 9. Look, I swear I'm on one. Yeah, swear I'm on one. Yeah. Look, bitch, run and tell your friends I'm the man. I'm geeked up on the Zen, and I don't have a plan. The way I'm going, but I'm keep flowing in this motherfucking booth. I'm the motherfucking truth. I'm so motherfucking
shout out Young Geek, man.
Riding in the coupe with a bad yellow bitch and a pussy full of juice. My hoe keep their mouth closed like they so glue. I don't like them by the ones, bitch, I like them by the two. All these damn colors, I don't see nothing but red. Nigga play crazy, give him 3 shots to the head. I never wear a suit cause you wear it when you're dead. And my chopper got a scope, came with the infrared. Look, I swear I'm on one.
Love it. Salute. Young Geek, man. Blackadelic Entertainment song, you know what I mean? Yo, y'all already know what time it is, man. Pull up. Let's get ready to get into it, y'all.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Love Talk Radio.
Pull on though. Let's have a conversation tonight, family. Welcome to it. Welcome to it. Welcome to it.
You can't handle the truth.
All right, salute family, salute to every last one of y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Vanguard Podcast. I am the gracious host, Pimp Black. Hey, we black at it again, family, back for another round. Thank you for pulling up. Because a lot of you niggas pull out game weak as fuck. You know what I mean? And I don't say that if I don't, don't say that. But hey, man, it is what it is. Family, meantime, give yourself A round of applause for being here. No, that wasn't for you. That was for the creator, for the universe, for allowing us to see another day, a day we've never seen before. And I'm quite sure a day we'll never get to see again, family. So this time, give yourself a round of applause, family. And that's for being who you are, man, because you could have been anywhere else in the world, you know, on YouTube, or no matter how you listening to this, over the airways, podcast listeners, Breaker FM, Radio Public, Overcast, Apple, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, of course, Blog Talk Radio. If you just logged in on Anchor, salute. If you're watching on Zoom, however you checking us out, family, salute. We'll definitely appreciate it over here. And of course, Fame Verde Podcast is a Blackadelic Entertainment production. So check us out, family. Follow our official website at BlackadelicEnt.com. That's BlackadelicEnt.com, family. BlackadelicEnt.com. Yeah, man, salute. So how's everything going, y'all? I was didn't get a chance. Somebody maybe could let me know what the football season is back. We back at it, y'all. Back in football season. NFL is back on. We've been laying on this. I know I have. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not even really, you know, a big, you know, sports guy, but you know, I am a football fan, and you know, of course, last week, Thursday, September the 9th was the beginning of, you know, the 2021 season. A lot of players, a lot of things moving around, a lot of different surprises, you know, for the season. But, you know, nonetheless, we here for it. You know, sports fans, about who y'all team are, man. Jump in the comment and let me know who y'all room for this year after, you know, the first weekend, you know, is out the way. In fact, let's see the results so far. NFL standings after week 1. Kansas City 30 beat Cleveland 33-29. Miami beat the Patriots 17-16. The Rams beat the Chicago Bears 34-14. Arizona came out on top over the Titans 38-13. Cincinnati Bengals, Minnesota Vikings. Cincinnati had that one, y'all. And is that 29-24? Maybe double check that. If I have that wrong, I'll double back on that. San Francisco 49ers took it to Detroit 41-33. The Steelers walking all over Buffalo 23-16. The Chargers 28-16 over Washington. Jacksonville Jaguars lost to the Texans 37-21. Seattle Seahawks flew over the Colts 28-16. I missed, of course, my home state's team, not my home team, of course. The Atlanta Falcons, to no surprise, lost bad to the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's you know, a Falcon can't beat an Eagle anyway. Never was a thought of mine. However, 32-6. So very, very good blowout. And of course, you know, last Thursday night game, the man, the myth himself, Mr. Wonderful, who could do no wrong, family. You know what I mean? The man, Tom Brady, went against the Dallas Cowboys. And in true Tom Brady fashion, he came out on top at the last minute. 31-29, y'all. So salute to all the teams, everybody. If you won a little bit on your fantasy football leagues, if y'all do any of that out there, salute every last one of y'all, man. Hopefully some of you got to make a little money. Hopefully some of you got to make a little money this year. But yeah, man, we're gonna have a few conversations tonight, you know what I mean, about a couple of things. Quite a few things have been going on, you know, in this great world of ours. So one of the reasons why I titled this show, your Pullout game weak as fuck, right? Mainly heading tonight's conversation will be, discussing the war in Afghanistan. Our good now 46th Commander-in-Chief, Joseph Biden, Sleepy Joe as Trump would call him, him along with Kamala Harris, the first Black vice president, and the most diverse administration probably in the history of the United States. Recently stuck with their September the 31st deadline of withdrawing all the troops from Afghanistan. Apparently, this supposedly becoming back and behind some sort of, I don't know if we would say deal that U.S. Maybe had made or supposedly had made with Iran or Afghanistan, the Taliban, if I'm not sorry about that. Because to me, to us, maybe they're all the same damn faction, but they all still differentiate themselves. But it's not really a difference. They all seem to have such a hatred for the United States and such deep rooted passion for the Islamic faith, that to believe that Allah has sent them to. So I guess you would say, would you say murder American, or seek justice for America, for non-Americans or their people? But it's a real interesting thing, to say the least. I mean, in fact, let's see if I can pull something up here. Have us a little conversation about these things, right?
The Fame Podcast.
Let's see. That with me, family. A salute to everybody checking in with us as well. Everybody overseas, that constantly check in with us on the Vain Verdict Podcast. Y'all feel free to email, follow us on Facebook, all the above, Instagram, Twitter. If you want to support, always gladly appreciate it. You can reach out to us if you choose to. CASHAPP $ Blackadelic Entertainment. Again, it's $ BlackadelicEnt. Capital B, capital E in the BE. You feel me? So, wait a minute. Yeah, but to really, excuse me, turn the water on. But if you really want to understand, and we're gonna get into that. All right, yeah. Just move me out. Let's get me down. But yeah, fam. But again, if y'all checking in the Vain Verdict Podcast, wherever you listening in at, Anchor FM, Breaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Google Podcasts. If you're listening here on Blog Talk Radio, if you're watching on the Zoom, watching on YouTube, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that share. Greatly appreciate it. Help us out with the algorithm that you can see. Not really post like that, what I mean? But I'm trying to get, on a fixed system or a schedule. So y'all keep feeding into it, man. Show me love. Let me know. Continue. Let me know it's y'all really want to continue to go on. But not really big salute our overseas listeners, those in Indonesia, Yugoslavia, look like the Philippines, the UK, of course, wherever y'all checking in, let's say Hong Kong, look like. Salute to everybody, man. Of course, everybody here in the States, here in Georgia, of course, Carolina, New York City, I see you. Salute to y'all. Jersey, family checking in. Everybody in California, Wyoming, Arizona, I see you. Salute to every single one of y'all, family. This is why we're here. And it's one of the reasons that we're here. You know, we say the truth is a hard pill to swallow. You say hold your nose and tilt your head back, family. So with that said, you know, one of the things we do want to have a discussion about is the truth about Afghanistan. In order to understand the truth about Afghanistan, we must understand what all the hoopla is about as far as pulling out of Afghanistan at this time. Why were we there in the first place for so long? I mean, think about it, 20 years, the longest war, quote unquote, in US history. Of course, I call bullshit, I always do. And I like to take you on a journey with me, of course, whenever the chance I get. So hopefully you can kind of, you know, see through some of the shit. Now this goes back, obviously it's 20 years, you know, this when George Bush went into Afghanistan. Now, if you think about now, what do we have right now, right? Before we go into, you know, go back a little bit, I want y'all to think about what we have, what's going on right now, right? We have our current Democratic president, Joe Biden. I guess you could say being really ridiculed at the moment for his handling of the withdrawal of the troops in Afghanistan, and more so not setting up, you know, a democracy in Afghanistan, or, you know, any assistance of that. Now, at least that's what's being fed to us as the people, right? Now, the actions that, you know, America, it don't seem like that's exactly what the end result is. I mean, because if you look at it, right, we pulled everybody out by this quote unquote deadline to leave millions and millions, if not billions, of dollars worth of artillery, machinery, planes, tanks, all the above. We left all of these things there just in the Taliban's hands. So this is what we're facing. All of our troops are out of there. Maybe not home, but just in other, you know, surrounding territory. But believe me, we have yet to see all these troops. When did the planes come back of the guys? But just think about where we are now. You know, on the brink, we've come out of Afghanistan, but we've left the Taliban all of these arms and ammunition. And nobody even think why. What was the strategy? None of this was, you know, discussed or implemented, or was this purposely done by design for some other, you know, sinister reason, or, you know, if you will. Y'all know who George Bush began this, right? So for me, I would have to believe it's the latter. I do not believe we're over there to liberate or anything like that. I think it's something a lot more sinister, and a president like George Bush will tell you that in so many words. You know, he most definitely will.
If you've retired, you don't have anything to worry about. Third time I've said that. I'll probably say it 3 more times. See, in my line of work, you got to keep repeating things over and over and over again for the truth to sink in. To kind of catapult the propaganda.
So what have we learned today, family? In our line of work, you have to keep repeating things over and over again so that the truth can set in and catapult the propaganda. Well, what is propaganda? We know propaganda by definition is maybe something created, to look like something with the purposes of, of achieving another goal or to sway an opinion or one's opinion about a certain thing. So we can continuously repeat a lie over and over again until the masses of the people believe it. So we can install or act upon whatever bullshit reasoning we have for doing something, or in this case, invading a country, if you will.
If you've retired, you don't have anything to worry about.
Now, George Bush, we've seen four. Now, Joe Biden makes the fourth president. Joe Biden makes the fourth president in U.S. history to be involved in the war in Afghanistan. Well, let's hear what all of these the last four commander-in-chiefs had to say about Afghanistan.
Given the nature and reach of our enemies, we will win this conflict by the patient accumulation of successes, by meeting a series of challenges with determination and will and purpose. Today we focus on Afghanistan, but the battle is broader. Stay until the mission is done. These will only be achieved when we give the Afghan people.
Now, again, this was in 2004. They till the mission is done.
Afghanistan developed its own stable government. Reliance must maintain its resolve and finish the fight in NATO. As President Sarkozy put it in London last week, we cannot afford to lose Afghanistan. Whatever the cost, however difficult the victory, we cannot afford it. We must win. I agree completely.
Even as there will be dark days ahead in Afghanistan, the light of a secure peace can be seen in the distance. These long wars will come to a responsible end. Others will ask, why don't we leave immediately? That answer is also clear. We must give Afghanistan the opportunity to stabilize. Otherwise, our gains could be lost, and Al-Qaeda could establish itself once more. As Commander-in-Chief, I refuse to let that happen. 2014, therefore, is a pivotal year. Together with our allies and the Afghan government, we have agreed that this is the year we will conclude our combat mission in Afghanistan. I think Americans
Yeah, he
have
said
learned
that in
harder to end
2014.
wars than it is to begin. If this is how wars end in the 21st century,
7 years
through
after
signing ceremonies,
Bush
decisive
stated
blows against our adversaries,
that we stand long
transitions
as
to elected
they would.
government.
So I'm assuming now,
security forces who are trained to take the lead and ultimately full responsibility.
Our troops will fight to win. We will fight to win. If I wanted to win that war, Afghanistan would be wiped off the face of the earth. It would be gone. It would be over in literally in 10 days. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to go that route. We're getting out. We want to get out. We had good meetings with the Taliban. And we are going to be leaving, and we're going to be bringing our soldiers back home. We've been there for almost 20 years. It's a long time. We've done a great job in terms of getting rid of terrorists. Now it's up to other countries to get rid of those terrorists.
I'm now the fourth United States president to preside over American troop presence in Afghanistan. 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats. I will not pass this responsibility on to a fifth. I'm deeply saddened by the facts we now face. I do not regret my decision to end America's war fighting in Afghanistan and maintain a laser focus on our counterterrorism mission there and other parts of the world. My fellow Americans, the war in Afghanistan is now over. The fourth president was faced the issue of whether and when to end this war. When I was running for president, I made a commitment to the American people that I would end this war. Today, I've honored that commitment.
So we should go all the way back to George Bush, early 2000s, right? Gradually, so now we're wondering what happened over the last 17, 18, 19 years to where we have failed as a United States to assist or install our own government or democracy in Afghanistan, as we claim that was the mission in the beginning, to liberate the people, rid the people of this monstrous faction called Taliban and Al Qaeda and all this and that. And what I always say, family, well, I'll save that for next. I'll say that for next.
Given the nature and reach of our enemies, we will win this.
So in Afghanistan, family, we have to understand that there were events that happened prior to 9/11 that I guess you can say sparked all of what we're facing now. Now, if you know the truth about what's has been going on in Afghanistan, the truth may actually shock you, family. So who better else than to take us down that road than the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam, who over the years, and as you can see, even this post right here, this was from a speech accepting responsibility to build our community on March 8th, 2009. So even the irony, even with all, with, wow, almost 12 years afterwards, even the same thing, but these are the truths that we don't like to speak about when it comes to Afghanistan. So it is, family, they probably gonna flag the video, but hopefully you can get it. Go ahead and screen record right now before they pull it down. And it is what it is, man. Minister Farrakhan talks about the war of Afghanistan, the other hidden truths, but you have to understand, again, how we got to the point we are now. We have to go back before 2001, before 9/11.
How did we get involved in Afghanistan? Did you know that Osama bin Laden was paid by the CIA? You didn't know? You didn't know? Well, let's just get a little talk. See, Afghanistan is a Muslim country, and socialists and communists had started ruling Afghanistan. So the Muslims now, this is a period of Islamic revival all over the world. And the Muslims are rising up to come back to the pristine purity of the faith. So when the Muslims rise, they challenge a socialist government. This happened in Egypt under Gamal Abdel Nasser, who was a socialist, but the Islamic Brotherhood wanted to return Egypt to Islam in its purest form. This is going on all over the Middle East now. So most of the moderate, in quotes, moderate Muslim leaders, they're all in trouble because the masses are rising and they want Islam, but they want it in its pure
formed. So the Muslims started rising in Afghanistan. And the Soviet Union did not want
Hey, remember, this is the
the
period he's talking
Muslims
about the
to
late 80s, early
destabilize
90s.
the socialist
The time
government.
period he
So they
refers
sent
to.
their troops in to take over Afghanistan. Enter Osama bin Laden. I don't know exactly, remember who was with me when I was in Pakistan, in Islamabad, and I met with that President Zia ul Haq. And I went into Peshawar, where the Mujahideen
And
were,
remember,
and we met
Peshawar is the
with the
place where
leaders
Osama
of the
bin Laden was
Mujahideen.
actually killed, where his compound was.
Mujahid. It means a struggler, a person involved in a jihad or an intense struggle for God. For God. The Mujahideen that we met in Peshawar were fighting the Russians or the Soviet Union in Afghanistan. The United States said, well, we are God-fearing.
Listen to this.
Satan talking.
Listen to this. Very important. Very important. And this is when Joe Biden was part of the Senate.
And you Muslims are God-fearing, and the Soviet Union is godless. So let's back the Mujahideen. So the CIA funneled money, weapons, information to the Mujahideen. And those are ancient warriors. And they whipped the Soviet Union. And we could see the Soviets taking their tanks and getting out of there. But what happened, America promised
Listen.
that when the Soviet Union was defeated, that they would help the Mujahideen rebuild Afghanistan.
Don't that shit sound familiar?
The Fame Verdict Podcast.
In building any nation that will be true to Islam. So once the Soviet Union was defeated, America backed out on its promise. The Soviet Union collapsed. And America became the only power in a unipolar world.
Facts.
Osama mad as hell.
And then in
The
rises.
Mujahideen mad as hell. So a civil war broke out in Afghanistan between the warlords who controlled the poppy, the heroin traffic, you that snort and you that shoot up. Most of your heroin coming out of Afghanistan.
Resources. Y'all gotta think, family. Y'all gotta think. Why? We never asked why.
The Taliban arose in a civil war, and they win and conquer Afghanistan, cut off the poppy. Now, let me tell you, did you know it ain't got nothing to do with the Taliban and women wearing burqas? This thing that covered the woman all up.
And it's funny, again, this is in
Like she
2009.
defending women.
But think about how the liberated
Walk in
women
the
and
street
people
with
that
your
women are talking
behind out,
about now.
ain't a damn soul saying nothing to you. gonna defend women in Afghanistan who cover, and you are uncovering your woman, making her look like a prostitute.
Facts. Thank you.
Ain't nobody saying nothing to you. He's not a defender of the modesty of women.
Never have been.
He used that as an argument to sway the American people against.
So of course we're back after technical difficulties. I got y'all at. Y'all trying to shut us down. Guess what? We going right back where we at. History of the Taliban. And we just heard the Minister Louis Farrakhan break it down, you know, in a sense. And I know a lot of y'all think, who ain't nobody listening to the minister, man. Nobody stand where this old man talking about up there. So I figured, and I found something. Let's go a little further in depth with it, if you will, right? You know, let's get it.
Is the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not.
Later in 2021, the U.S. will finally withdraw from Afghanistan, but concerns are growing over what will happen in the aftermath of the departure. A U.S.-led invasion ousted the Taliban in 2001, and many analysts suspect the militant group is now in a position to retake control of Afghanistan. But what is the Taliban, and where did it come from? Understanding the group's origins requires us to look back at more than 40 years of Afghan history.
He died.
In 1979, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan. While the U.S. supplied and armed Afghan Mujahideen militants, millions of Afghans fled to Pakistan and Iran. Soon, the CIA created its covert Operation Cyclone to finance and arm militants in what it considered an anti-communist war. Many Muslims from around the world also volunteered to fight against the Soviets. One of them was a young Osama bin Laden. In 1983, U.S. President Ronald Reagan met with Mujahideen leaders at the White House.
Hold on, man. Y'all look. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, y'all. Cause we talking about some truth out here, man. It's time, let's get the information out here to the people. The truth on what's going on. You know, that's for those that don't want to take it from my mouth. Don't want to take it from the minister. Case in point.
The U.S. considered them allies in the fight against communism and the Soviet Union. This was even reflected in popular culture at the time. In Rambo 3, Sylvester Stallone fought alongside Afghan villagers against Soviets.
What you see here are the Mujahideen soldiers, holy warriors. So as this war is a holy war, and there's no true death for the Mujahideen because we have taken our last rights and we consider ourselves dead already. To us, death for our land and God is an honor.
You started this damn war. Now you have to deal with it.
And we will. It is just a matter of time before we achieve a complete victory.
You know, there won't be a victory. Every day your war machines lose ground to a bunch of poorly armed, poorly equipped freedom fighters. The fact is that you underestimated your competition. If you'd studied your history, you'd know that these people have never given up to anyone. They'd rather die than be slaves to an invading army. You can't defeat people like that. We tried.
Okay.
We already had our Vietnam. Now you're going to have yours.
The film actually ended with a tribute to the gallant people of Afghanistan. The superior firepower the U.S. provided to the Mujahideen began to take its toll on Soviet forces. And after nearly 10 years of occupation, the Kremlin finally agreed to withdraw troops from Afghanistan.
This development would not have been possible had it not been for the valiant struggle of the Afghan people to rid their country of foreign occupation. We take
That
great
we
pride
created.
in having assisted the Afghan people in this triumph, and they can count on our continued support.
After withdrawal,
Now at that time, remember George Bush was director of CIA.
under house arrest at a UN compound. The Mujahideen forces took over Kabul, and most militant groups signed on to the Peshawar Accord, creating the new Islamic State of Afghanistan.
2 years later, the Taliban emerged in southern Kandahar. They assumed control of the province and imposed a particularly harsh interpretation of Islamic law. The group was founded by Mullah Muhammad Omar and his students. Omar's mission was to establish Islamic law now that communism had fallen. The Taliban also claimed they wanted to clear the country of territorial warlords and corruption. In a matter of months, up to 15,000 students from religious schools in Pakistan, most of them Afghan refugees, had joined the Taliban. By 1996, cooperation between Mujahideen leaders had failed, resulting in 4 years of fighting between factions. Kabul was left in ruins by the war, which killed nearly 15,000 people. In September of that year, the Taliban captured Kabul after taking most of the country with little resistance. They executed former President Najibullah and his brother. After taking power, the Taliban imposed its version of Islamic law, which included preventing girls from going to school and denying women the right to work. Legal punishments and executions took place in public. Only Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates recognized the new Taliban regime. After the 9/11 attacks, the U.S. issued an ultimatum to
Who are all of our allies now?
One of the accused organizers of the attack, Osama bin Laden, was under Taliban protection and demanded he be surrendered to the U.S. Omar refused. 20 years after it started supporting the political factions that gave rise to the Taliban, the U.S. led an invasion of Afghanistan. Within a month, the Taliban had retreated to Kandahar.
Not a war, an
The
invasion.
U.S. coalition took Kabul with its new allies, the Northern Alliance. The Bonn Agreement handed control to the Northern Alliance and other Mujahideen factions that had ruled Afghanistan in the 1990s. Hamid Karzai was chosen as Afghanistan's transitional president. 2 days after the Bonn Agreement was passed, Mullah Omar left Kandahar, which signaled the official end of the Taliban regime. U.S. President George W. Bush declared mission accomplished as the Pentagon formally announced that major combat operations in Afghanistan were finished. Karzai was elected president for the first of 2 consecutive terms in nationwide general elections.
But we
by
never went
2006,
anywhere.
The U.S. was stuck in the middle of another costly invasion, Iraq. The Taliban seized the opportunity to begin staging a resurgence, particularly in the south. While U.S. and NATO troops officially ended their combat mission in Afghanistan in 2014, President Barack Obama continued to authorize U.S. forces to carry out operations against Taliban and al-Qaeda targets there. Over the next few years, the Taliban escalated attacks on Afghan and U.S. forces. They recaptured almost 40% of Afghanistan. Peace talks between the Taliban and the Afghan government began in Qatar, but ultimately failed. Russia attempted to host its own peace conference between the two parties, which also failed. In April of 2021, U.S. President Joe Biden announced troops would be withdrawn from Afghanistan by September 11th. Since Biden's announcement, violence has escalated in Kabul. Sometimes attacks are random and are not claimed by any militant group or faction. Victims of the violence include journalists, judges, and high-profile women. And the Taliban has continued to take more territory. Government figures have even called for the public to take up arms against the Taliban. On July 6th, the U.S. withdrew from the Bagram Air Base in the middle of the night. The base is also home to a prison said to hold up to 5,000 Taliban prisoners.
Mr. President, you trust the Taliban, sir? Why you don't trust the Taliban?
It's a silly question. Do I trust the Taliban? No. But I trust the capacity of the Afghan military, who is better trained, better equipped, and more competent in terms of conducting war.
The impending U.S. withdrawal has only led to more insecurity for Afghans. After decades of invasion, civil war, and the so-called war on terror, their future remains as uncertain as ever.
Mr. President, will the United States be responsible for the loss of Afghan civilian lives that could happen after the military exit?
No.
The Vain Podcast.
As we done, so salute to TRT World, subscribe to them. And that again was getting more of a factual deep dive, because y'all want to take my word for it, family. This thing has been going on for years for the sole purposes of those resources. They don't care about liberating the country. Our thoughts and prayers do go out to all the family members, the lost, soldiers over. And look, quiet and take it how you want to take it, man. That's really on both sides. We push love, man. We don't push death on no end, but I do understand that's how, unfortunately, that's how, things are done in this world. That's how countries, might, disputes are settled, it's settled through might, and to show a strength on always on who's got the upper hand. Unfortunately, with this thing called America, we gotta always remember, look how America operates. It's not only one that's not a country. America's younger than all of these nations that we police, because we are an organization within ourselves founded by immigrants from all over, With that, I digress.
Is a Taliban tape?
Right, George?
If you're retired, you don't have anything to worry about. Third time I've said that. I'll probably say it 3 more times. See, in my line of work, you got to keep repeating things over and over and over again for the truth to sink in. To kind of catapult the propaganda. If you're retired, you don't have anything to worry about.
All right, moving right along, family, moving right along. Conscious community. Yo, salute to y'all, man. Salute to every last one of y'all out there trying to uplift the people. I got, I done said this before, I'm not gonna, go into it again, when I started on my, I guess you could say, intellectual journey a few years back, in my studies, when I was introduced to the conscious community, obviously through channels like the House of Consciousness, Sarnetta TV, who's really big. It's like the platform for most of those conscious community guys. They're based out of New York and things like that. And I've seen a lot of people fly from all over the world to either have conversations with them, attend their debates and lectures. And when I started watching them, you see those, and then the algorithms flow. Then you see the Hebrew Israelites videos, and then you see them clashing with like a lot of the Kemetic scholars and all of these people that be on Sarnetta's joint. And then after you watch so many of them and start studying a lot of the things are spoken in repetition, and they speak a lot about old ancient, kings and queens of Africa and of that time. And a lot of the other side likes to dissect the validity of the Bible and the importance of keeping the scripture and keeping the word. So very, interesting things, you can take a lot from them, nonetheless. But see what end up happening, which happens a lot with, the Black community. When money gets involved, a lot of the messaging and I think the overall core principles and standards where a lot of the guys profess that they stand on, at that time they're kind of null and void. You don't really see or hear those things. Now they're clouded by, the very things that they say are a detriment, to our people.
The Fame Podcast.
And but see, when it started, there was like 5 guys that I, myself took a lot of, interest in, the way they deliver their message, and then more so in the messaging that they were delivering. And I get, I can, say I get a lot of information from, rather young or old. One was Brother Polight. who has probably been said, or at one point it was probably stated, probably one of the most profound, I guess you could say, modern speakers, if you will, or idealists, you know, of his time, or more so in his community at least. So having that thoughts of what of just, you know, taking in the messaging, and I've always gotten that, even when I, you know, in studying, because I'm doing all this at the same time I'm studying, you know, I'm getting more in depth in the into Minister Farrakhan and, you know, other teachers. You know, I get introduced to all of them, the whole world at the same time. From Umar to Tariq and, you know, all the guys, everybody. But I did end up straying away when, you know, a lot of different things, because I don't agree with, you know, a lot of the things, you know, that the guys stand for. And more so, Brother Polight.
Well, he normally garners attention for his online posts, but now the social media influencer motivational speakers make the headlines for the wrong reason.
Brother real name, Michael Nowak. Michael Nowak.
Earlier this week, police charged him with sexual battery of a 14-year-old girl. We did speak with his lawyer earlier tonight, who said that these charges are false. This is the mugshot of 37-year-old Michael Nowak Jr., also known as Brother Polight, to his more than 300,000 Instagram followers. Miami Beach police arrested Nowak this week for alleged sexual battery of a 14-year-old girl in a hotel room in February. The alleged victim was the daughter of a woman he was romantically linked to. Defense attorney David Terrace says his client is innocent.
Once the evidence is produced,
It tripped me out. These guys do all this talking, man, all of this and that, and don't even have black lawyers. Like, look at him. Look, the Louis shoe, look at him. You know what I mean? You look like a rapper, man. You out here carrying on like a pimp. Like, look at his Instagram. Y'all go to I Am Brother Polight's Instagram. Look at his picture. Look at the women he parade, how he parade our queens. Grabbed their head, pushed it towards his genital area. This is one of the black women is God. Man, these niggas, that's what they do. Him, Pharoah, all of them, black woman is God, which I totally agree. They helped me listening to those brothers. I'm telling you, back in the day, y'all, listening to them back in the day. And I'm saying back in the day, listening to them when I first began introduced to them, back before they were who they are now in this celebrity world. So I guess I aided and abetted, you know what I mean, whatever they became. But listening to them now, man. Yo, young Pharoah, right? Young Pharoah, very unfortunate what happened to this brother, man. You know what I mean? Because he's young, you know, younger than I am, but the brother's very highly intelligent. And I didn't know, you know what I mean? I don't know, I guess for after a while, you know what I mean? We these guys, they read these books and they mask, you know, the bullshit. They just like everybody else. Y'all just like everybody else. Y'all ain't no, they ain't no different. In fact, Michael Nowak right here, he actually worse than a lot of these, you know, criminals out here. At least a lot of them, the ones that walking in the evil ass light that they walking in, walking in their evil ass truth. You putting on this persona, and taking advantage, but it's not surprising considering, you know, Polight's mentor, speaker, who he came up on, his spiritual father mentor, I guess, gentleman by the name of Dr. York, who's in prison right now for molestation and pedophilia. You know what I mean? So that's why I said he defended this man religiously. You know what I mean? When he was first, when I, like again, like all these, like when I was introduced to these guys, was like the client, like the very beginning, and then slowly as I'm listening to them, listening to the video, listening to their studies and things like that, just taking in the messages. Because like I said again, after I, do my little YouTube thing, I'm not where these guys are. You know what I mean? I don't, it don't go past that for me. So like, even like, with the brother Young Pharoah, you know what I mean? He raps whatever. I never, the song or two I like heard, I think his music is trash, to be honest. So like I don't follow him bit past that, but the brother does have good information and he has a great way of doing research and tackling certain issues, and that I applaud. And that's the same with brother Polight. But see, these guys on a personal level, man, makes all of that shit null and void for me when it comes to. And there's a video where young Pharaoh got rich and his baby mom goes online to expose him. You know what I'm saying? And very interesting. Young lady by the name of Golden Beauty. Young Pharaoh baby mama, yo. And she looks so young. I don't know how old she is. Looks like she's about 16, 17, maybe 19. I bet she no more than 19 years old.
This is gonna be 24 minutes. I'm gonna do a quick little reaction video, I guess, because clearly the man is crazy. Clearly he wants a battle on social media. So if you want to battle, let's battle, because for one, I'm only gonna make money off
And
this
see,
live stream.
one thing about y'all, man, fella, y'all gotta understand, y'all be doing these girls like they don't forget, boy, the women know all your business. So I already tell she finna go in.
Not on Trump, even though in his other video he literally submitted he on Trump. So just the lights for me.
Look, Mr. Black woman is God, the white man is the devil, the white man is evil, this and that. Out here on shrooms.
Okay. So the reason why I left yesterday was because
he turned into, didn't he do all this? Yo, wait a minute. Yo, didn't young Pharaoh try to expose Nature Boy? Didn't one of the man, didn't he do that? The Nature Boy had all the girls out running this sex code out here in Mexico, or whatever the fuck you trying to expose, which was bullshit too. That when I that started going on, man, that country community shit crazy, man.
Like the internet is gonna pull out their belt and give us a whooping or something. That does not make sense. So he started basically like, we need to shut the fuck up and just listen sometimes. Don't question me and don't question the way I want to do stuff and blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, cool. Why could you?
Yo, no, I don't even want to hear baby girl go in on them like this. Make a long story short, whole country community full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Wow. What? It's the time we're living in though, man. That's why it's no surprise. This generation Zest, man. Y'all, and I'm probably gonna leave it with this. I'm probably gonna go on out after this one, but this is definitely Generation Zest, man. But y'all look, y'all generation is so different, bro. Y'all generation is so different. And I see, think about, like, look at the government. Look at our ruling bodies, Joe Biden. Where we going on there? The bullshit the government tells us. The bullshit they feeding y'all in the schools, as far as the information goes. The bullshit, that they feeding y'all, they're putting into y'all bodies. What you watching on television, the music that the kids listen to. This is definitely Generation Zest. They have successfully feminizing the Black man, defeminizing the Black woman, or emasculating the Black woman, if you will, or all for that matter. They've made abortions illegal. Man, look, as it probably should be, man. But it's Generation Zest, man. Like, gay is the new straight. We saw this slowly. I saw this head in this direction after, the rock star era. Remember when, that happened in hip hop, when everybody wanted to be rock stars? That's when the tight clothes became popular in the hip hop community. That's when the skinny jeans, remember the black boy, white boy swag back in the day? Everybody got on. That was a slow emergence of the gay shit, dude. Now, we already know, as we already said, African Bambaataa, the Zulu Nation, and all them weirdos up there with Dr. York and all them was the first gay hip hop faction or group, if you will. We know that already. But ideally now, as the Bible says, evil will be made fair seeming, family. Think about God, and they, the signs are all there, like the metrosexual dressing guys, the love to wear clothes that show off their men that like to dress with tight clothes to show off their body parts and their curves and all of that. Men that say they're straight are supposedly supposed to be straight. But we all know with the way you dress, the way you speak comes an attitude, right? The attitude is how one carry themselves or one's overall demeanor or behavior, right? Your attitude. So if I'm dressed feminine, what do you expect a lot of their attitudes and actions to reflect? This is Russell Westbrook, right? Russell Westbrook. Look at him. Look at the clothes. He's just one of them. I can pull them all. Cam Newton, I can pull all of them up. But look at him. This is Russell Westbrook. What's emasculated about this faggot shit right here? With your cleavage showing, and it might be one of Kanye weird ass shirts. It probably is evil. But look at it. He look like somebody's niece. Oh, look how they dress, man. Look at this, bro. What's going on, man? And y'all cool with this shit and this shit fly? This is flavor. We out here raising sons, man. Weirdo ass niggas, man. Y'all just sit down and look at them. This was this weekend, man. This weekend, Russell Westbrook is a top NBA player. One of the top NBA players, top 20. Who a lot of y'all boys idolizing the beat. Want to play like Russell Westbrook. Show him. Look at your hero now. Look at where we created him, man. This was this weekend. This weekend. He was probably on a date with this motherfucker. You know who she is? Damn, man. This little Nas X. The cowboy nigga. The richest motherfucker, probably the biggest in the game. It's probably Drake than him now. Look at him. This at the VMAs. This is paraded around on the television screen for your kids to see. Your little sons and daughters that want to grow up and pursue a singing career, and they like to watch the VMAs, or, you know, because they get to see all their stars rewarded for the videos, and this come prancing down the red carpet. You know, because he won awards for his video kissing men and giving Satan a lap dance, and we praise dancing to this shit. But guess what though? Lil Nas X, as far as the good his music does for the people, he's no different than Megan Thee Stallion, Moneybagg Yo, Boosie, all of them. The shit ain't no different. All that shit is at the detriment to our youth, man. All of it and all of them. This was this weekend too. Fucking Bobby Shmurda. Y'all know him? Look at this nigga. This the hot nigga, Bobby Shmurda. Look at him. This a whole lot of gang shit. This the young man that supposedly took more time in jail just so one of his homeboys can get off. Can get out of doing so much time. Look, this is a real nigga, the no snitch. We traded him for 6ix9ine. We kept screaming, let this nigga out. Y'all kept screaming, let this nigga right here out. Let this nigga out and lock 6ix9ine though. Remember y'all saying that? Look, there you go, you got him. Man, y'all could have left this nigga in there, man. Y'all should have left these hoe ass niggas in there, man. Man, please, but leave these hoe ass niggas, man. Y'all need to leave these hoe ass niggas alone, but y'all done fucked this one up. Y'all done fucked this one up, man. Damn. Not Bobby, cuz this nigga, I'm talking about he ain't twerking looking back at his ass. What? He twerking looking back at his ass. You seen it? He doing splits and all, bro. Hey, man. Generation Zest. Y'all niggas zest as fuck, man. Let's try to get back in tune ourselves, man. Fellas, We gotta get back involved in our kids' lives, man. They depending on us. They need us, especially our boys. Especially our boys. Look at the influences. The proof is in the pudding. These are your biggest stars in the game. This is what your kids seeing, glorifying, streaming, viewing, liking, sharing, idolizing. Let's get back in there, man, and let's get the right things, put the right things into our family, into our children, into the universe, into our marriages, into the universe, into our households, into the universe. And we can pull the right things out, man. A lot of y'all pull out game, we get fucked. Time to straighten it up, fam. And with that, I digress.
The Fame Verdict Podcast.